syrup. That thing will hold about 5.5 gallons or so, but I'll show you how I filter it. And I don't know if this is the right way to do it, but that's what I do. Now, because I'm short, I put this on the floor. This in that jar, and I use my milk filtering stuff for that. So yeah, you can see there's bugs and bark, stuff like that in my maple syrup. Let's go dump this in. Getting there. So I think I added 2 gallons since I did this the first time. So kind of keeping a running track, I'm up to about 7 gallons of sap, 7.5 gallons of sap, give or take. And we'll see how much syrup that makes. So I lined my filter with the same kind of stuff that I use for filtered milk, and that's got a little filter thing underneath, screen underneath. quite a full gallon, but close. Put this in. I would say I'm getting, I don't know, maybe a half gallon of sap a day. It's definitely not a gallon per tree by any stretch. Joshua was cleaning out the garden today, getting it ready for planting. You know, it's kind of, you gotta do what you can when you can. So I will get this all cooked down. Still not 100% sure how I will know when it's all cooked down, other than just kind of how it looks. I don't know. And I may need to finish this on the stove just to know what it's supposed to look like when it's complete. And then just keep this wood stove running full blast as much as I possibly can to cook that down. Maybe I'm just not there this year, and maybe I'll just have to wait until next year. You know, if you can pray for us about something, we're really thinking seriously about what steps we need to take to move ahead with purchasing the field next to us. The owner has said he doesn't want to sell, but we've got a lot of solar farms moving into farmers' fields, and I don't want him to sell to a solar farm before he sells to us. And I think my understanding is that the solar farms, the solar companies, have to go to the neighbors of the land that they're going to be moving into next to them and just check to make sure that they're okay with it, and we're not okay with it. I don't have anything against solar farms. I understand why farmers would use them. I really do. But it's not a direction for us that I want to necessarily be around. So our thought is, if we can buy that field, when I kind of Google Maps it, it looks like it's about 6 acres, maybe a little bit more, definitely more than 5 acres. And if it was 6 or 7, that's 9 or 10 acres total for us. And I think that that would be enough for us to do what we want to do. That field would then become complete pasture land for our cattle. And we would have to look into putting in a livestock barn for them at that point. And that's fine. Yeah, well, you know, we'll just have to see. There's a lot going on that way. You know, it also means I don't want to have the livestock barn too far away from our house, because milking, I don't want to have to walk, you know, 3 acres away to go milk, especially in the dead of winter. That was rough this past year, and this was an easy winter. So we'll just have to see how it all works out. Getting the maple syrup going. I got about 2 gallons today from the trees.
Did you just get some more?
Yeah, I did. So
It's really nice and warm down here.
yeah, I know, it's comfortable. So anyway, we would like to buy that field next to us, be able to put our livestock over there. Livestock barn fairly close to the house for milking and caretaking purposes. It won't happen this year. Plus, we've got a ton of things we have to take care of with the house here, getting it fixed up and ready for next winter, which I'm just gonna say this, I suspect next winter is gonna be a lot harder than this winter was. So you hear people say in Alaska, soon as the weather warms up, they're already gearing up and preparing for the coming winter, and getting their homestead ready. So everything's a run. And that's why we use winter time as a time to rest, because as soon as it warms up, it's time to go. It's time to prepare for the following winter, and that's kind of what we have to do here. Not because our winters are so much harder than everybody else, but because we desire to be self-sufficient. And so my goal is to not have to run to the grocery store every time I want to make a meal for my family. And that means I got to get my crops into the ground so that I can have them be able to be harvested in time for winter, and to make sure that I've got enough time to plant a winter or late fall crop and get as many crops into the ground as I can, and just make sure that the house is ready for the following winter. That means the basement needs to be fixed up. It means that windows are fixed. So the field next to us, be nice if we could get there, but maybe pray for us. I don't know how much 6 acres goes for. Out here, 6 or 7 acres is what I can best figure. I don't know how much something like that would go for. I can't base it on what we paid for our own house, because our house was a trash heap and wasn't worth very much at all. In fact, I think one person valued our house at $15,000 because it was in such bad shape. Banks wouldn't do a traditional mortgage on it because it would never pass inspection. I can understand why. It's definitely a liability, but this is where we want to live. So if you guys can pray for us, that we can figure out a way to make that work. We're still trying to live on a very, very tight budget. And it's just that sometimes in order to be able to make our homestead profitable, we have to have enough land. And in order to have enough land, we have to buy more land, which then means we're spending money. And we're trying really hard to get out of debt. So we're almost there. But it's just kind of a path that we're on, a journey that we're on, because we want to be able to live self-sufficiently, live independently. And this is going to be something that it will be my children's inheritance after my husband and I are gone. And then they can choose to either continue the homestead or sell it and split the money amongst the 5 of them. You know, that's up to them. It would be my husband's and my retirement. It's a place where my daughter could set up her own cattle business if she wanted to, and have everything all set up for her. So basically we're trying to set up a situation pre-existing, all set up and beautiful for our children. It'll mean all work for my husband and I, but hopefully for my children, when they are our age, things will be set up and running smoothly enough that then it's just a case of maintaining, and then they can pass that legacy down to their children. So that's kind of where we are right now. So today is get tax stuff together to take to our tax lady, and then do some more house cleaning. I hate house cleaning. And try to keep up with the yard outside. Okay, see you later.